Level 1, the Shestyorka. You're 17 years old. You live in a grey apartment block in Moscow and nothing ever changes. Your father drinks. Your mother works at a factory for 200 rubles a day. You see the guys on the corner. They wear leather jackets. They drive black Mercedes. When they walk into a store, the owner stops what he's doing and pours them tea. You start hanging around. You don't ask questions. That's disrespectful. You just exist. You're the Shestyorka, the six, named after the lowest card in the Russian deck. You're the errand boy. You stand outside nightclubs in the freezing cold. You watch for police. You run cigarettes to the war standing in the back of the restaurant. You hold packages. You don't ask what's inside. One night, a brigadier tests you. He hands you an envelope.
Take this to the apartment on the Leninsky Prospect.
He says.
Don't look inside.
You take the metro, your hands are shaking. You knock on the door. A man with prison tattoos covering his knuckles opens it. He takes the envelope, he nods, you leave. The next day, the brigadier gives you 500 rubles. You've passed, but you're being watched. Always. They want to see if you can keep your mouth shut. If the police stop you, you say nothing. If your girlfriend asks you about the money, you say nothing. You're invisible, but you're learning. Level 2. The Boyevik. You're 19. You've been running errands for 2 years now. You never complained. You never talked. You've proved yourself. Now you're a Boyevik, a warrior. Your job is simple. You enforce, you collect, you intimidate. A restaurant owner in your territory is 3 weeks late on his projection payment. You and two other Boyeviks walk in during lunch rush. You don't say a word, just flip over the table. Plates crash, customers scatter. The owner comes running out. I'll have it tomorrow, he pleads. His hands are shaking. You lean in close. Tomorrow's too late, you whisper. You grab a bottle of expensive vodka from behind the bar and walk out. The message is clear. The money shows up that afternoon. You also move product. Bratva controls the heroin coming in from Afghanistan. You don't touch it directly, you're the middleman. Someone leaves a package in the garage, you pick it up. You walk it to a flat 3 blocks away. You knock twice. A hand reaches out, you hand it over. You make 2,000 rubles a week. That's more than your mother makes in a month. But the risk is real. Last month, a Boyevik from a rival brigade got caught with 10 kilos. He's doing 15 years in a Siberian colony. The Bratva didn't bail him out. They can't. He took his punishment. He kept his mouth shut. That's the code. You also have to put in work when called. When the brigadier says someone needs to be taught a lesson, you grab a bat and you go. No questions. Level 3. The Krisha. You're 23. You've been in for 6 years. You've done your time. 9 months in a detention facility for assault. You sat in a cold cell and never said a word to the investigators. When you're out, the war threw you a party.
You took your beating like a man.
He said. Now you're a Krisha. Krisha means roof. You're an enforcer and a protector. Your job is to provide protection to business. A construction company pays the Bratva 50,000 rubles a month. In exchange, no one touches their equipment. No rival gangs shake them down. No corrupt officials demand extra bribes. You're their insurance policy. But you're also the hammer. When a debtor tries to run, you find him. You break his hand. You take his car. You make sure he understands that running doesn't solve anything. You make 5,000 rubles a week. You have an apartment now. You have a girlfriend who doesn't ask questions. You wear nice clothes. But you're marked. The police know your face. You're in a database. Every time there's violence in your district, they come to you first. You can't leave. The Bratva is everywhere. Moscow, St. Petersburg, Brighton Beach, Tel Aviv. If you run, they'll find you. The only way out is in a coffin or as a rat, and rats don't live this long. Level 4, the Brigadier. You're 28. You survived. Most of the guys you came up with are dead or in prison serving life sentences. But you're smart, you're ruthless, you're calm. The war promotes you to Brigadier, an authority. You control a brigade. 5 to 6 Boyeviks and a dozen Shestyorkas work under you. You control a territory. Maybe it's 3 blocks of shops, maybe it's a port, maybe it's a section of the Moscow metro where dealers move product. Your job is management. You collect money from all your men. You take your cut, then you pass the rest up to the общак. You hold meetings in parks, you walk and talk. Never in the same place twice. The FSB has microphones everywhere. You also handle diplomacy. A Chechen gang is trying to muscle in your cigarette smuggling operation. You don't panic. You call a sit-down. You meet in a neutral location, a bathhouse, a private room in a restaurant. You negotiate. Sometimes you reach an agreement, sometimes you don't. When you don't, you send your Krishas to handle it. You're making 30,000 rubles a week. You drive a foreign car, you eat at expensive restaurants. People step aside when you walk down the street, but you have a target on your back. Every ambitious Krisha wants your position. Every rival gang wants you dead. The FSB has a file on you with your name on it in red ink. You don't sleep well, You keep a pistol under your mattress. You change where you sleep every few nights. Level 5, the Obshchak. You're 34. You climb to the top of the operational site. You prove you can manage money and the men. The Vor trusts you with something more valuable than muscle. He trusts you with the cash. You're the Obshchak, the bookkeeper. You collect all the money from the brigadiers. Envelopes stuffed with rubles, dollars, euros. You count it. You record it in a ledger that only exists in your head. Nothing is written down. Then you distribute it. You pay off the police. You bribe the judges. You fund the legal defense for brothers sitting in prison. You support the families of dead soldiers. The Obshchak is also the communal fund. When a new operation needs financing, you approve it. When a brigadier needs money to expand into a new territory, he comes to you. You launder everything. You own a construction company, a car wash, a nightclub. Dirty money goes in, clean money comes out. You meet with accountants and lawyers, legitimate businessmen who know exactly what you do, but take your money anyway. They set up shell companies in Cyprus, in the Cayman Islands, in Dubai. You're pulling in 50,000 rubles a week, but more importantly, you control the flow. You know where every ruble goes. That makes you powerful. It also makes you dangerous to yourself. If the FSB builds a RICO case, they come for you. You're the money trail. You're the link between the street and the business empire. You have to be invisible. You don't carry a phone. You don't use email. Everything is face to face. Level 6. The Sovietnik. You're 40. You've been in the life for over 20 years. You survived the gang wars of the 90s. You survived the FSB crackdowns. You survived the betrayals. The Pakhan calls you into his office. From now on, you're my Sovietnik, he says. You're the only person in this organization allowed to disagree with the Pakhan. When he wants you to start a war with the Chechens, you're the one who says, wait, think about the heat. Think about the business. You're also the diplomat. When there's a dispute between two brigadiers, you mediate. You sit them down, you listen, you make a ruling. Your word is law, second only to the Pakhan. You don't have a crew, you don't have a territory. You have the Pakhans here. That's worth more than money. You make 80,000 rubles a week. You live in a guarded apartment, you vacation in Montenegro. To your neighbors, you're a successful businessman. They have no idea, but you're also a target. If you get too powerful, if you threaten the Pakhan's position, you disappear quietly and permanently. Level 7. The Pakhan. You made it. You're the Pakhan, the godfather, the boss. You control everything. 4 brigadiers report to you. Through them, you control hundreds of soldiers across the city, across the country, across the world. You're a ghost. You never touch a gun. You never touch money from a deal. You have layers of people between you and the crime. You whisper in an order to your Sovietnik. 3 days later, a rival disappears. You meet with other Pakhans, the heads of the other great Bratvas. You divide up the country like a cake. You decide who controls the heroin trade, who controls the ports, who controls the politicians. You own legitimate businesses, oil companies, real estate firms, banks. The money is clean, the empire is vast. But you have no peace. The FSB has a task force dedicated to destroying you. Your best friend wants your throne. A rival Pakhan in St. Petersburg is making moves into your territory. You live behind high walls. Bodyguards follow you everywhere. You can go to a restaurant without 3 men checking it first. You can't trust anyone completely. Not your Sovietnik, not your wife, not even your own brother. There's no retirement. You stay on this throne until you die in your bed, in a prison cell, or on the street outside a bathhouse. This is the life you chose. Level 8. The Vor of Zakonia. There is one more level. The highest level, the legend, the Vor of Zakonia, the thief in law. This title is not given, it's earned. You must be crowned by other Vor in a secret ceremony. You must have spent years in prison. You must live by the code. It was born in Stalin's gulags. Never cooperate with authorities, never hold an official government position, never marry officially, reject all political activity. Support the criminal ideal with your life. Your body is covered in tattoos. Church spires on your back for every year you spent in prison, stars on your shoulders marking you as elite, a crucifix on your chest showing you're a prince of thieves. These tattoos tell your life story. You're an authority across the entire underworld, not just your Bratva. When disputes arise between organizations, they come to you. You hold court, you make rulings. Your word is law. You're untouchable. If someone kills a Vor of Zakonia without permission from the Council of Vori, there is a death sentence on his entire organization. You are the code. You are the tradition. You are the dying breed of the old world. Level 9. The end. You've been shot twice. You've killed 4 people. You've done 8 years in 3 different prisons. You've made millions of rubles. But you've lost everything too. You sit in a cafe in Moscow. Your hands shake slightly, not from fear, from nerve damage. A bullet clipped your spine 5 years ago. Your mother died last year. You couldn't go to the funeral. Too much heat. Your younger brother won't speak to you. He works at a bank now. He pretends you don't exist. There's no walking away. The FSB watches you. Your own organization would kill you if you try to leave. You know too much. Blood in, blood out. You finish your coffee. You stand up. You walk to your car, a black Mercedes, the same kind you saw when you were 17. There's a kid on the corner, maybe 16, skinny, hungry eyes. He's watching you. He sees the car, the leather jacket, the respect. You see yourself in him, and the cycle continues.